The congratulatory card sat on Gregory's desk like a landmine waiting to detonate my life. Pink envelope, elegant cursive, the kind you'd send for a wedding or new baby, not the kind meant to celebrate destroying a marriage. I'm Nicole, and 10 minutes ago I was just dropping off my husband's forgotten phone at his office. Now I'm standing here, holding a card that reads, "Congratulations on your affair," in metallic gold letters. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside, in different handwriting, "Your secret's safe. For now." No signature. I took a photo with shaking fingers, placed everything back exactly as I found it, and drove home on autopilot. The rest of my day passed in a blur. Client meetings, design reviews, phone calls I couldn't remember. By dinner time, I had composed myself enough to execute what came next. "How was work?" I asked, setting down his favorite pasta dish. "Busy! The Morrison account is giving me headaches." Gregory loosened his tie, flashing that smile that once made my heart flutter. I reached into my bag. "Found this on your desk when I dropped off your phone." I slid the pink envelope across the table. The color drained from his face. "Nicole, My phone buzzed. Then again, and again. "Hold that thought," I said, pulling out my phone. The messages were from a blocked number, photos of Gregory and his assistant Juliana, in his office, in a hotel room, in our bed. Then a video started playing. "Turn that off," Gregory snapped, reaching for my phone. I held it away. "Why? Scared of seeing yourself in action?" My voice was eerily calm. "The timestamp on this one is interesting. Last Tuesday, when you said you were working late on the Peterson portfolio? This isn't what it looks like." He stood up, towering over me. "Really? Because it looks like you're fucking your assistant in our bed while I'm at my cancer screening appointment." I zoomed in on the date. "See? Right there, 2:30 p.m., while I was waiting for results, wondering if I'd live to see our daughter graduate." "Nicole, let me explain. The card was a nice touch," I continued, my voice steady despite the inferno raging inside me. "Did Juliana pick it out? She always did have a twisted sense of humor." "You don't understand what's really going on here." Gregory's voice turned cold, calculating. "Who sent you those photos?" I stood up slowly, gathering our untouched dinner plates. "That's your concern? Not that you cheated, but who caught you?" "This is bigger than you realize," he growled, grabbing my arm. "Tell me who sent them." I yanked free, plates clattering into the sink. "Don't touch me, ever again." "You're being hysterical," he said, reaching for his phone. "I'm calling Dr. Matthews." "Your psychiatrist friend? The one who helped gaslight your first wife?" The words flew out before I could stop them. Gregory froze. "What did you say?" My heart pounded. I'd revealed too much, shown my hand too early. 10 years of marriage, and I'd never let him see how much I really knew. Until now. "Nothing," I backpedaled, forcing a confused look. "I'm just upset. I need some air." I grabbed my keys and phone, heading for the door. Gregory's voice stopped me. "Nicole." His tone was different now. Dangerous. "What exactly do you know?" I turned, meeting his eyes. The man I'd loved, father of my child, now a stranger wearing a familiar mask. "I know enough to wonder what else you're hiding." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, jaw tightening. "That Juliana?" I asked sweetly. "Tell her thanks for the photos. They'll look great in court." "It's not what it looks like," he repeated, but his eyes were already calculating, planning. I held up my phone, thumb hovering over the play button. "Then what's this, Gregory? Because from where I'm standing, it looks an awful lot like the end." "You're overreacting," Gregory said, following me into the living room. "Juliana means nothing. It was a mistake." "A mistake?" I laughed, the sound hollow. "A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. This was a choice, multiple choices actually. In our bed. In your office. How long? Nicole, please. How long? 6 months. He ran his hands through his hair. But it's not just about the affair. There are things you don't understand. I grabbed my phone, dialing my sister. Gregory lunged for it, but I stepped back. Isabella, can you come over? Now? My voice cracked. Don't involve your sister in this, Gregory hissed, but I was already heading upstairs to pack a bag. He followed, his footsteps heavy on the stairs. You need to listen to me. Someone is trying to destroy our family. These photos, the timing, it's all orchestrated. By who? I spun around. Your father? Your mother? Or is Khalil pulling the strings this time? His face changed, a flicker of fear crossing his features. What do you know about Khalil? Before I could answer, the doorbell rang. Isabella's voice carried up the stairs. Nicole? Up here, I called, zipping my overnight bag. Gregory grabbed my arm. Think about Malia. Think about what you're doing. I am thinking about Malia, I yanked free. I'm thinking about how her father fucked his assistant in her childhood home. Isabella appeared in the doorway, taking in the scene. Get your hands off my sister. This is family business, Gregory said coldly. I am her family, Isabella stepped between us. And I'm also a lawyer. Want to talk about family business? Let's discuss the prenup. Gregory's face went white. What prenup? The one my father insisted on, I said, realization dawning. The one you thought was lost when Dad died. Guess what? Fred Cox still has a copy. Fred Cox retired years ago, Gregory scoffed, but his voice wavered. Semi-retired, Isabella corrected, and very interested in the clause about infidelity and asset control, especially given the timing. Gregory's phone buzzed again. This time, I caught a glimpse of the screen. Dad, urgent. Go ahead, I nodded to his phone. Call Harold. Ask him about the prenup. Ask him what happens now that we've hit the 10-year mark. You don't know what you're talking about. Gregory's voice was deadly quiet. Don't I? I pulled out a folded paper from my bag. This is from Dad's estate lawyer. Interesting timing, making you beneficiary only if we stayed married 10 years. We just celebrated our anniversary last month, remember? Gregory lunged for the paper, but Isabella was faster. Touch her again, she warned, and I'll have a restraining order on your desk before breakfast. Nicole, Gregory's tone shifted to pleading. Baby, please. We can work this out. Think about everything we've built. You mean everything you've stolen? I shouldered my bag. I'm staying with Isabella tonight. Don't call. Don't text. Talk to your father instead. Ask him what happens when the puppet cuts her strings. In Isabella's car, I finally broke down. How did I not see it? Because you loved him, she squeezed my hand. But now you see everything. Not everything. I wiped my eyes. But I will. Remember Ian from college? The guy who became a private investigator? I nodded, pulling up his contact. Time to make some calls. Gregory's right about one thing. This is bigger than an affair. What do you mean? Dad knew something before he died. That prenup wasn't just protection, it was insurance. I showed her the estate documents. He made sure I'd have power right when Gregory's family thought they'd won. Nicole, Isabella warned, these people are dangerous. So am I. I typed a message to Ian. Need your help. Discreet investigation. Grey family finances. How soon can we meet? His response was immediate. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., the usual place. I turned to Isabella. I need a favor. Can you get me all of Fred Cox's files on the prenup? Every draft, every note. Already on it. She smiled grimly. What's the plan? First, we follow the money. Then... I looked at the latest message from Gregory. Come home. We need to talk. Then we burn it all down. Then we... Ian hadn't changed much since college. Same intense green eyes, same careful way of studying everything. We sat in the back corner of the coffee shop where we used to meet between classes. So? He slid a folder across the table. Your husband's been busy. I opened it, scanning bank statements and transaction records. These are offshore accounts? Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Singapore. Ian leaned forward. But here's where it gets interesting. The money isn't just Gregory's. It's flowing through a network of shell companies, all connected to Harold. His father? And Juliana. Ian pulled out a photo. She's not just the mistress. She's been handling transactions, setting up accounts. They're using her company as a front. My coffee turned bitter in my mouth. How much? Millions. And that's just what I've found so far. He hesitated. Nicole, there's more. These transactions, they started ramping up right after your father died. My phone buzzed. Gregory again. Where are you? Malia's asking questions. Let him sweat, Ian said, noticing my expression. We need to move carefully here. I nodded, pulling out my laptop. Show me how to access these accounts. For the next hour, Ian walked me through the digital maze of the Grey family empire. With the prenup's authority and my joint account access, I began making small withdrawals, testing the waters. Watch this, I transferred $50,000 to a separate account. Within minutes, my phone exploded with texts. Gregory. What are you doing? Harold. Call me immediately. Juliana. Stop this now. They're panicking, Ian observed. Good. I called Isabella next. Ready for phase 2? Already done, she said. I accidentally mentioned to Mom's bridge club friend that Gregory's been moving money offshore. Harold's secretary overheard. My phone rang. Gregory. I put it on speaker. Are you insane? He hissed. Do you know what you're doing? Accessing my legal share of our joint assets. Perfectly sane. This isn't a game, Nicole. No, I agreed. It's not. How's Juliana handling the pressure? Silence. Then, what do you want? Everything. I kept my voice steady. Every account, every transaction, every deal you made using my father's estate. You'll destroy us all. You did that when you brought Juliana into our bed. Ian slid another photo across the table. My heart stopped. It showed Gregory's mother, Maria, having dinner with Khalil at an upscale restaurant, passing what looked like documents. Maria's involved? I whispered. Up to her pearls, Ian confirmed. The dinner was last week. They met 3 times before that. The betrayal cut deeper. Maria, who'd welcomed me into the family, who'd held my hand through my cancer scare, who'd helped plan Malia's birthday parties. She was part of this? My phone buzzed with an email from Fred Cox. Found original prenup notes. You need to see this. Come now. I have to go, I told Ian. Keep digging, especially into Maria's involvement. Nicole? He caught my arm. Be careful. These people, they're not just rich. They're dangerous. I know. I gathered my things. That's why they won't see me coming. At Fred's office, he looked troubled. The prenup wasn't your father's idea, he said, handing me a yellowed legal pad. It was Harold's, but your father modified it. I read the notes, my hands shaking. He knew? All along? Your father suspected something wasn't right with the Greys. He added that infidelity clause as a trap. If Gregory cheated after 10 years, I'd get everything, I finished. Control of the companies, the accounts. Your father was protecting you, Fred said gently. He just didn't live to see it through. My phone lit up with a text from Ian. Urgent. Found photos of dinner meetings, Gregory, Khalil and Maria. Going back months. There's something else. Maria's signature on all the major transfers. She's not just involved, she's running it. I stared at the message, ice flooding my veins. The sweet, proper Maria. Gregory's supposedly submissive mother, was the puppet master? Fred, I looked up. I need every document you have. Everything. What are you going to do? I thought of Maria's gentle smile, her perfectly manicured hands passing secret documents to Khalil. I'm going to finish what my father started. The annual Grey Family Foundation Gala buzzed with Manhattan's elite. I adjusted my red dress, Gregory's least favorite color, and painted on my brightest smile. Darling, Maria air-kissed my cheeks. We've missed you this week. Had some work to catch up on, I replied, watching her perfectly manicured hands grip her champagne flute. The same hands that had signed away millions. Gregory appeared at my side. Everyone's asking where you've been. Worried about appearances? I took a sip of champagne. Don't be. I told them all you've been working late. Very, very late. His jaw tightened. Across the room, Juliana hovered near the bar, wearing a dress that cost more than a junior executive's monthly salary. Our eyes met briefly before she looked away. Nicole! Harold's booming voice carried across the room. Come tell the Andersons about your latest project. I played my part perfectly. The devoted wife, the talented architect, the grateful daughter-in-law, all while watching, waiting, testing. That development in Brooklyn, I mentioned casually to Harold's banking friends, reminds me of that Singapore project, the one with the offshore funding. Harold's champagne glass froze halfway to his lips. Speaking of projects, I turned to Maria. How's Khalil? Haven't seen him tonight. He's unavailable, Maria said carefully. Business in Dubai. Dubai? I raised an eyebrow. I thought he was in Geneva. At least, that's where the wire transfers are going. The color drained from Maria's face. She grabbed my elbow, steering me toward the ladies' room. What do you think you're doing? She hissed once we were alone. Enjoying the party? Isn't that what we're here for? Family? Philanthropy? 5-star champagne? Don't play games with me, girl. Maria's proper facade cracked. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Actually, I do. I reapplied my lipstick. 10 years, right? That was the plan? Marry me off to Gregory, use my father's estate, then discard me once you had what you needed? Maria's hand trembled as she reached for her phone. Who told you? You did, just now. I smiled at her reflection. But thanks for confirming it. She grabbed another glass of champagne from a passing waiter, downing it in one go. It wasn't personal, it was business. Your father's companies, his connections, we needed them. And Gregory? Was he just business too? Gregory knows his duty to this family. Her words slurred slightly. Juliana was motivation, insurance, in case you got suspicious. My phone buzzed. Ian's signal. He'd successfully accessed Gregory's phone while it sat unattended at the coat check. You know what's funny? I leaned closer to Maria. You all thought I was the weak link, the naive wife, the easy mark. But my father? I showed her his estate documents. He knew exactly what kind of snakes you were. Maria's eyes widened as she read. This can't. Oh, but it is. Every transaction, every shell company, every secret meeting with Khalil, all documented. Dad left breadcrumbs, and I followed them all. You'll destroy everything, she whispered. You did that yourselves. I headed for the door, then paused. By the way, Gregory left his phone at coat check. Might want to tell him to change his passwords and delete those texts about moving quickly because she knows. Back in the ballroom, I caught Isabella's eye and nodded. Time for phase 2. My phone vibrated with screenshots from Ian, texts between Gregory and Khalil, Maria's offshore accounts, meeting schedules, everything. Gregory intercepted me by the dance floor. Dance with me. People are watching. I took his hand, letting him pull me close. Always about appearances, isn't it? Whatever you think you know, I know everything, I whispered in his ear. And soon, everyone else will too. The music swelled, cameras flashed, the perfect couple sharing one last dance. If only they knew it was actually a funeral waltz. The next morning, I walked into Gregory's office building like I owned it. Technically, thanks to the prenup, I did. Mrs. Gray! The security guard smiled. Haven't seen you in a while. Tom, I need you to escort some people out. I handed him a list. They're terminated. Effective immediately. His eyes widened at the names. Gregory's most loyal employees, including Juliana. Upstairs, chaos erupted as HR delivered termination notices. I sat in Gregory's office, waiting. His phone rang non-stop. Harold, Maria, Khalil. I let it ring. Juliana burst in first. You can't do this! Actually, I can. I slid an envelope across the desk. Inside are the photos you sent me, plus some interesting bank statements. Care to explain the deposits from Harold? Her face went pale. That's private? Nothing's private anymore. I stood up. You have 30 minutes to clear your desk, and Juliana, that pregnancy scare you were planning, don't bother. I already told Gregory about your birth control prescription. She fled in tears. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. My phone buzzed. Isabella. Done. All company accounts frozen. Gregory stormed in minutes later. What the hell are you doing? Spring cleaning. I gestured to the boxes of files Ian had helped me gather. Amazing what you find when you start digging. You're destroying everything we built. No, I'm taking back what you stole. I pulled out my tablet. Want to see something interesting? Watch what happens when I press this button. His face contorted as notifications flooded his phone. Accounts frozen, assets locked, access denied. Stop this, he growled. Now! Or what? You'll have me committed? I pulled out another file. Like you planned with Dr. Matthews? The blood drained from his face. How did you find the forged therapy records? The ones claiming I'm unstable? I tossed them on the desk. Juliana should really change her email password. A knock at the door. Khalil. We need to talk. Perfect timing, I smiled. I was just about to call the SEC about those interesting transfers you've been making. Nicole, Khalil's voice was smooth, reasonable. Let's discuss this like adults. There's a solution where everyone wins. You mean like the solution you planned for me? 10 years of marriage, then a convenient mental breakdown? You don't understand the bigger picture, he started. Actually, I do. I projected documents onto the wall. Operation dates, account numbers, shell companies. My father left quite a paper trail before you killed him. The room went silent. What did you say? Gregory whispered. Oh, didn't they tell you? I turned to Khalil. Want to explain why my father's brake lines were cut the day after he threatened to expose your scheme? Khalil's hand twitched toward his pocket. Gregory stepped between us. This isn't what we agreed to, Gregory said to Khalil. Plans change, Khalil shrugged. Like they're about to change for your wife. My phone buzzed. Ian. Police entering building. Get out now. Speaking of changes, I grabbed my bag. The FBI is very interested in those offshore accounts. They're probably talking to Harold right now. You're bluffing, Khalil snapped. I played the video Ian had captured. Harold directing Khalil to forge documents, discussing my father's accident, planning my commitment. Copies are already with the authorities. I headed for the door. Oh, and Gregory? Malia's staying with Isabella. She's seen the evidence, too. Nicole, wait! Gregory reached for me. Don't! I stepped back. The next time you touch me will be through prison bars. In the elevator, my hands finally started shaking. My phone lit up with a message from Juliana. I'm pregnant. It's Gregory's. What will you do now? I smiled, typing back. Nice try. But I have your medical records. Tick-tock, Juliana. The FBI will want to know about those accounts in your name. The elevator doors opened to chaos. FBI agents, reporters, flashing cameras. I walked through them all, head high. Behind me, I heard Gregory shouting, Khalil arguing, careers crumbling. But all I could think about was my father's last words to me. Sometimes, sweetheart, the best revenge is simply surviving long enough to tell the truth. Well, Dad, I thought, watching Khalil being led out in handcuffs. The truth is just getting started. Maria's hands shook as she poured her third scotch. We sat in her pristine living room, the same room where I'd once felt like family. Why did you want to meet? She asked, her perfect posture finally cracking. Because you're going to tell me everything. I placed a recorder on the table. Starting with my father. I can't. You can, and you will. I pulled out photos of her secret meetings with Khalil. Or these go public. How's Harold handling prison? She flinched. The great Harold Gray, arrested in his own office 2 days ago, had already started naming names. It wasn't supposed to end like this, Maria whispered. The plan was simple. Gregory would marry you. We'd access your father's connections then. Then what? Drive me insane? Like Gregory's first wife? That was different. Maria's mask slipped further. She actually was unstable. You were just in the way. And my father? Her hand trembled. He found out about everything. The money laundering, the fake companies, Harold's deals with Khalil. He threatened to expose us. So you had him killed. Not me. She grabbed my arm. Khalil arranged it. I didn't know until after. The front door opened. Malia walked in. My heart stopped. Mom? Her voice cracked. Grandma? Honey, what are you doing here? I stood up. I came to get my art supplies and... Tears streamed down her face. Is it true? About Grandpa? About Dad? Maria rushed forward. Sweetheart, let me explain. Don't touch her, I warned. I heard you. Malia backed away from Maria. About Mom's dad. You had him killed. Malia, please, Maria begged. It was business. Family business. Family? Malia laughed bitterly. Is that what you call murder? My phone buzzed. Ian. Juliana, trying to flee country, intercepted at airport, claims pregnancy was lie. I trusted you, Malia told Maria. When Dad was always working late, when he missed my art show, you said family comes first, but it was all lies. Everything I did was for this family. No, I cut in. Everything you did was for money, power, control. Maria collapsed onto the sofa. You don't understand. Harold, he built this empire from nothing. We couldn't let anyone destroy it. So you destroyed people instead? Malia's voice was steel. Like my other grandfather? My phone buzzed again. A video message from Juliana. Fine, you win. Here's the truth about your father's death. I played it. Juliana's tear-streaked face filled the screen. Harold ordered it. Maria arranged the details. Khalil handled it. They made me watch the surveillance video to prove my loyalty. I'm so sorry. Maria lunged for my phone. I stepped back, letting her fall. You recorded everything just now, she realized, looking at the device on the table. Yes. I helped Malia gather her art supplies. The police will be here soon. Nicole, Maria called as we reached the door. It was always the plan. From the first day Gregory met you. We needed your father's influence, his connections. 10 years, that's all it was supposed to take. And now, I turned back. How's that plan working out? She picked up her scotch with trembling hands. We're still family. No, Malia said firmly. "We're not." In the car, Malia broke down. "Mom, I'm so sorry. All those times I defended Dad." "Hey!" I pulled her close. "You didn't know. None of us did. What happens now?" My phone lit up with news alerts. Gray family empire crumbles. Heir arrested in international fraud scheme. Murder investigation reopened. Now? I started the car. We rebuild. Without their lies. "Mom?" Malia pulled out her phone. "Juliana's trending on Twitter. She's doing a tell-all interview tomorrow. Let her talk." I thought of Maria, alone with her scotch and secrets. The truth was always going to come out. "Like sunshine," Malia said softly, quoting my father's favorite saying. "It disinfects everything it touches." I squeezed her hand, driving away from the house of lies we'd called home. Behind us, police sirens wailed, heading toward Maria's confession. Sometimes karma needs a little push, Dad, I thought. But don't worry. I pushed hard enough for both of us. The press conference room buzzed with anticipation. Cameras clicked, reporters whispered, all eyes fixed on the empty podium. Isabella squeezed my hand. "Ready?" I nodded, smoothing my navy blazer. Time to end this. The SEC spokesperson stepped up first, outlining the charges. Money laundering, wire fraud, conspiracy. Behind him, a screen displayed the frozen assets, nearly $1 billion hidden in offshore accounts. Then it was my turn. "My name is Nicole Gray." Camera flashes exploded. "And I'm here to tell you about a decade-long fraud that began with my father's murder." The room went silent. 10 years ago, I married into what I thought was a respectable family. Today, my husband sits in federal custody. His father faces conspiracy charges. His mother orchestrated my own father's death. And their empire? I gestured to the financial charts. Built on blood money and lies. A reporter shot up. "Mrs. Gray, did you know about these activities?" "No. I discovered the truth when I found evidence of my husband's affair with their financial controller, Juliana Fernandez." Another reporter. "Is it true Ms. Fernandez is cooperating with authorities?" "Yes. Her testimony this morning detailed how Harold Gray ordered my father's murder, using Khalil Holmes as the enforcer." The doors burst open. Gregory, in handcuffs, flanked by FBI agents. "This is my statement!" he shouted. "Nicole is lying! Remove him!" the FBI lead ordered. "Tell them, Nicole!" Gregory struggled. "Tell them how you orchestrated this, how you trapped me." I met his eyes. "The only trap was the one you set for yourself. 10 years of lies, Gregory. Did you ever love me at all?" He stopped fighting. "Everything I did was for us. No, everything you did was for them." I turned back to the reporters. "The evidence has been turned over to federal authorities. The Gray Family Foundation's assets have been frozen. And as of this morning, I'm announcing a victims' compensation fund using recovered assets." Questions exploded. "What about your daughter? Will you keep the Gray name? Are you pressing charges?" "My daughter is safe and healing. The name was never mine to keep. And yes, I will testify against everyone involved in my father's murder." My phone buzzed. "Ian. Khalil found in Dubai, being extradited." Gregory's voice carried over the chaos. "You'll regret this, Nicole. You're nothing without us." "Actually," I held up the prenup, "according to this, I'm worth exactly $947 million more without you." The room erupted in laughter. Gregory was dragged out, still shouting. As security cleared the room, a final reporter approached. "Mrs. Gray, one last question. Why now? Why not stay quiet and keep the wealth?" I thought of my father, of Malia, of every lie that built this house of cards. Because the truth isn't negotiable, and neither is justice. Outside, Isabella handed me an envelope. "From Harold. Came to my office this morning. Inside was a handwritten plea. Don't destroy our name, the family legacy. I ripped it in half. Their legacy died with my father. My phone lit up with breaking news. Grey empire falls, wife exposes billion-dollar fraud, murder, money laundering and marriage, the Grey family scandal. Financial dynasty crumbles as truth emerges. A text from Malia. Mom, saw you on TV. You were amazing. Love you. Then Ian. Juliana's interview is going viral. Maria just turned herself in. Nicole. Isabella touched my arm. Look. Across the street, Maria was being led to a police car. Our eyes met. She mouthed something that looked like, sorry. Too late, I thought, watching her disappear into the car. The time for sorry was 10 years and one murdered father ago. My phone rang. The FBI task force. Mrs. Gray? We found something in Harold's private vault. Letters from your father, dated the week before his death. You need to see these. I looked at Isabella. She nodded. I'm on my way, I said, stepping into the sunlight. It's time to learn the whole truth. Behind me, reporters shouted questions about revenge, about justice, about closure. But this wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about finishing what my father started. And I was just getting started.